Hey, so I want to start off by asking you guys a question. Have you ever slept like 7 or 8 hours, or maybe your entire weekend, to wake up and feel like you have not slept at all? Have you taken a vacation? Have you tried to slow down? Have you tried to have like one of those days where it's a do not disturb day and you're really trying to center yourself, but you still feel exhausted? Like the exhaustion won't stop. It won't stop, it can't stop. It won't stop, it can't stop. And you're wondering like, why am I not able to feel rested? That's what I want to talk about today, because I think this is such an important conversation, because so many women are walking around so depleted and so exhausted, and they've tried everything to try to get their energy back and nothing seems to work. So I have a lot of notes here that I'm going to be referencing because I don't want to miss any important points. So I know for me, when I was going through this very difficult time in my life, I remember I used to wake up and sit at my bed and just like be like, is this really my life? Like, just thinking about all the things I had to do that day drained me and depleted me and made me feel like I didn't even wake up from sleeping 7 to 8 hours, because the mental checklist that goes off in my head even before my feet touch the ground. Bonnet is still on, covers are still on. I haven't even sat up on my bed. I'm already my mind is already starting, the wheels are starting to turn, and it's like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. We got to drop off the kids, we got to get the kids dressed, we got to commute into the city, then we got to find parking, then we have to go to work, and then we have to deal with work stuff and our boss and employees and da 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 da. Then we got to commute back, pick up the kids, drive back home, then we got to get dinner ready, we have to get lunch ready, people got to bathe, we got to get stuff ready for the next day. And in between all of that, my mind is racing on all the things I need to get done the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. So even if I have a chance to sit down and catch my breath, physically, I'm not doing anything. Physically, I'm not doing anything. But mentally, my mind is racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And so what that does to your body is that although you are physically not doing anything and you're physically still, right? You're just sitting, trying to catch your breath and trying to regroup yourself from the craziness of the day. Because your mind is resting, you're not really resting. I mean, because your mind is speeding at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you're not resting. Because the mental load supersedes the physicality of you staying still. And this is why so many of us are so drained and exhausted, because we're mentally on overload. We're doing too much. We're wearing too many hats. We're multitasking, or at least trying to, because some of us are to the point of burnout that we cannot even multitask anymore. I know that happened to me, where I was declining so much at work that it would take me like 30 minutes to an hour just to draft an email that I was able to type up in like 10 seconds when my brain was working and when I wasn't burnt out and exhausted. Like my mind just wasn't clicking and working the way that it usually did. I wasn't like busting out things left and right like I used to. My brain and my mental capacity was at a negative. And I didn't understand what was happening, because I was like, I'm getting sleep, so why do I feel so tired all the time? Like I literally would drag out of bed like, all right, today's Tuesday, we got 3 more days and the weekend is here. Just 3 more days and the weekend is here. And it's like, is this the way my life is supposed to be? Because I can't catch a break. I'm just dragging. I'm taking my vitamins. it's not that I'm not moving my body, because I am walking everywhere. I am not eating as great as I should, but I'm still not eating bad. I'm drinking water. I'm getting in, a couple of glasses of water a day. So, like, what is happening? And you begin to not recognize yourself. You're like, I'm not as quick as I used to be. Things are, kind of falling through the cracks. I'm not able to juggle as much. And you just feel like you're constantly behind on the ever-growing to-do list of things that need to get done. And it almost feels like you are in this space where you look in the mirror and you see yourself, like you physically recognize yourself, but you also don't recognize yourself, because you're like, what is going on with me? I used to be so sharp. I used to be like on it, and it's such a it's such a hard place to be at, because it's like, what needs to change, but you don't, like, everything you try to do to change and get you back to where you once were when you were like, running shit, just doesn't work. And it's like you're at a loss, like, who am I? What happened to me? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, somebody help. And the doctors are like, just try to drink more coffee, or maybe try to go to the gym, or maybe try to go to bed earlier, or sleep when the kids sleep. That all that dumb advice that they give you, like, do you not? That's not gonna work here. It's like, come on. And then some of the other symptoms that may be happening, like, if this has been going on for a really long time, like, I mean years and sometimes decades, what tends to happen is this burnout and this exhaustion starts to turn into health issues, like chronic fatigue, burnout, chronic pain, even autoimmune issues. I'm seeing a lot of women being diagnosed with a lot of autoimmune illnesses, like Hashimoto's, lupus, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, and so on and so forth. And it's like, it makes you really wonder, like, why is my body falling apart? And it becomes this scary thing where you're like, what is happening to me? Like, again, like, I'm getting all these physical symptoms. Like, before, it was just exhaustion. Like, I was tired all the time. So I'd be like, you know what? I'll just have like my 5th cup of coffee and I'll be fine. I'm going to push through the day. I'm going to power through. We're going to be okay. So you go from drinking like your usual 2 cups of coffee to now you're drinking like 6, 7 cups of coffee a day, and it's still not working. And you're still dragging, and you're still just trying to get through the day. That was me. Of like, maybe I'll just drink more coffee. Maybe where I go get my coffee isn't strong enough. Let me try a different place. Like, maybe I need an espresso shot. And you're trying all these different things to try to get your energy back and try to get back to who you once were, because it's almost like you're grieving. You're like, I know who she is. I can almost touch her. I can almost feel her, but she's so close, yet she's so far away. And it could be so disheartening, because you're like trying to fix the situation, trying to figure out like, how do I get back to who I once was? Because if you're anything like me, we're the type that we have to solve the problem. We have to get to the bottom of it. We have to figure out what is going on, and we have to fix it. Excuse me, my throat. So I want you to know that you're not alone, because like I said, I went down this very scary road, because I'm a recovering control freak. I'm a recovering A-type personality. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm a recovering no boundaries chick. I'm a recovering, I say yes when I really want to say no. I'm a recovering all of that. I'm a recovering superwoman. I'm a recovering, we're going to get the job done, no, by any means necessary. That girl, or I was. I'm recovering. Like, we got our chip here. We got our chip here, and it's a daily practice. It's a daily practice of like understanding what got you to this place where you were just dragging throughout the day, and no amount of rest that you take or that your body takes gives you the energy that you need to function. And you're literally holding on by a thread. You're literally holding on by a thread, just trying to make it through the day so you could wake up and do it all over again the next day. The next day, the next day, the next day, until the weekend comes. And then you could sleep all weekend, and like I said, comes Monday morning, you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. This used to be me all the time. Monday morning, oh my God, I'm so tired. Mind you, I slept Saturday and Sunday the whole day. I was like, nobody please bother me. I need to recharge because it's been a week. And then Monday comes, and the first thing out of my mouth is, I'm so tired. I remember I used to come on Instagram on my stories and be like, I'm so tired. I'm having like my 5th cup of coffee and I'm still tired. Like, you're just like, who the hell am I? And the thing is, like, if we're being honest, like, with ourselves, it's like, the thing that we want is not more sleep. Like, that would be great, right? But we're already getting 7-8 hours of sleep and it's not doing anything. And at least for me, the more that I slept, the worse that I felt. What I know that I wanted when I was going through this is I wanted to be able to spend time with my family and my kids without feeling drained, which was huge. Like, I didn't want to feel like I was putting on a performance just to spend time with them, because I was so tapped out and so at, like, my capacity level was at a negative. Like, I wanted to be able to wake up refreshed. I wanted to be able to have energy again like I once did. And then I remember that I had tossed it up to, maybe, you know what, Julie, it's because you're getting older. You're already in your 40s. This is what's supposed to happen. You know, you're supposed to be tired. At least that's what I remember growing up with all the women around me. They were always exhausted, always drained, always like just doing too much, running around like a chicken without a head. So I was like, you know, maybe this is normal. This is what I saw my mom do. Maybe this is the way life is supposed to be. And I was like, but is it really? Like, I have more resources than my mom did. So why do I feel as tired as my mom felt, or even more tired than what mother felt? My mother, you know, came to this country. She was an immigrant from Guatemala, single mom. It was us 3 girls. My father's Dominican. He had his own other family, like every typical Dominican, unfortunately, or most Dominicans. I'm not gonna put everybody in the box. You know, there are some good ones out there. But, and so she was on her own, and that's all I saw is her running around doing the most, her running around trying to do everything, her always being tired, her always coming home from her 2nd or 3rd job, and the first thing out of her mouth was like, I'm so tired. Ay, estoy cansada. I'm so tired. And I remember growing up being like, damn, she's always tired. Like, my mother's always tired. And then it's crazy because as I got older and I had my kids, I was saying the same thing to them, to the point where I wouldn't even finish the sentence and my kids would be like, I know, Mom, you're tired. And I was like, in that very moment, I was like, oh my God, I became my mom. I am my mom. As much as I never wanted to be her, I am her. I've become her. And it's like, wow. It's such a big realization. And the thing is that I wanted to feel like my energy was back. I didn't want to feel like rest was something I had to earn. I didn't want to feel guilty because I was resting, because I knew that my body needed to rest. But I didn't want to feel guilty resting. And that was a huge healing journey to get over that, of like, if I sit down, I would feel guilty because I'm like, okay, I have that to do, I have this to do. Mind you, it doesn't need to get done right away, but in my mind, I'm like, I have nothing to do, let's do it. But my body's already telling me, girl, you are tired, sit your ass down. Like, my little sister, well, not to this day, because I've done a lot of work around this, but she'd be like, girl, you always running around doing the most, you just like Mom. How about you sit your ass down? Because you're always saying that you're tired. And I'm like, I would sit down and my leg would start to like, I would start to bounce because I'm like, the anxiety would creep up. Like, okay, you know, that thing is due next week, but since, you know, I'm sitting and there's nothing to do, well, maybe I could just get it done quick right now. Mind you, I'm already drained. I'm already tapped. I've been tapped out at my capacity. I'm at a negative. But because of the uncomfortability of sitting still and resting, of it feeling so bad in my body to sit still, to not do anything, to not be productive, felt like, I can't even put it into words. It just felt so wrong. Like I should be doing something right now. I could be getting 5 things done right now in an hour. And that was a huge journey for me to heal that trauma, because it was really getting in the way of so much in my life that I didn't understand at the time. And eventually what ended up happening, because I wouldn't listen to my body, is I ended up getting sick. And so I dealt with chronic pain issues. I have neuropathy, migraines, vertigo, and a whole bunch of different health issues that are now in remission, thank God, because I've done so much work to figure out why these things were happening to my body, right? Because like I said, a lot of times, like, people think that you're exhausted because you're not getting enough sleep. Or maybe you're getting too much sleep. But that's not really what's going on. And this is the discovery that I made, the aha moment that I had when I went through this journey of trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Because with the women that I work with, like, this is what I've discovered, is like, that's not the real problem. It's not that you're not getting enough sleep. It's not that you're getting too much sleep. That's not the problem. The core issue of why you are experiencing what you are experiencing, listen, hold on to your wigs and your edges, because when I finally put 2 and 2 together about this, I was like, okay, this is why this is happening. This makes total fucking sense. Like, why didn't this realization happen to me earlier? It is because for years your body has been carrying so much. And what I mean by so much is, you've been the strong one, you've been the dependable one, you've been the responsible one, you've been the one that always makes things happen, you're the miracle worker, you're the one everybody goes to ask, how do you do this, how do I do that, how I'm trying to figure this out, do you know how to do it? And of course you know how to do everything. It's like you're Mrs. Google, right? You do things that you don't want to do, but because you don't want to offend anybody or you don't want to let anybody down, you do it anyway. You're the perfectionist. You're the one that can't stop touching things until they're absolutely perfect to the centimeter, milliliter. It can't just be done and that's enough. No, it has to be done to perfection. You're the peacekeeper, you're the caretaker, you're the one who takes care of everybody. You're the one who never, ever, ever asks for help. Because at least I'm sure that if you're like me, at least one time or many times in your life, whenever you ask for help, either the person didn't come through or they didn't do things up to your standards. And so you're like, what's the point? I'm just gonna do it myself. And so you add another thing onto your plate. And so what happens to the body when this is going on, when you, I like to always tell people it's like a water bottle. Like, this is your body, right? Whenever you say yes to something and you want to say no, it fills up. Whenever you do the people pleasing, it fills up. Whenever you take care of everybody else but you don't check in on yourself, it fills up. Whenever you don't rest, it fills up, and your body is giving you all the clues that you're exhausted, but you keep going, it goes up. When you fix everything and everyone, it goes up. When you solve everybody's problems and don't give people the opportunity to do things themselves, it goes up a notch. When you fight for perfectionism in every way possible in your life, it goes up. When you don't ask for help or support, it goes up. When you put everything on your shoulders, it goes up, and it keeps going up and 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 up until it starts to overflow. And that overflow, what you're really experiencing when that overflow happens, is the exhaustion, is the chronic fatigue, it's the migraines, it's the rashes, it's the digestive issues, it is the vertigo, it is the shooting pain, it is the numbness, it is the tingling, it is the brain fog, it is the crankiness, it is the weight gain, it is the thyroid issues, it's the muscular issues, the shoulder pain, the neck pain, the back pain, the leg pain, the foot pain, the pain. And what is happening is, because your nervous system is overloaded, it signals to the body through these symptoms so that the body can get your attention, so that you can get to the root of why this is happening. But a lot of times, a lot of us don't pay attention to the symptoms, and what we do instead is we push harder. Why? Because that's how we were raised. We were raised not to speak up. We were raised to be seen and not heard. We were raised to take care of everybody and their mother, especially Latina women and, Caribbean women and, people of color. Like, this is our culture, right? Like, we are the ones who take care of the family, while everybody else just does, I don't know what. We put everything on our shoulders. And so the body communicates to you in that way of, like, all these symptoms start to happen where you're exhausted no matter how much you rest. You're depleted, you're tapped out, but you keep pushing. And this is our solution to everything. Just push harder. Just keep going. I'll rest when I die. Just going. Just push a little harder. Just another cup of coffee. I'm going to be all right. I'm just going to push through. I'm going to carry on. One more day. And we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep ignoring what the body is telling us. We keep ignoring the body because the body is communicating to us at all times. It's either through the intuition or through the symptoms. Our body is constantly communicating to us, and a lot of times, a lot of us don't listen. We keep pushing harder and harder and harder and harder and harder, and we expect, because we are pushing harder, that the symptoms are going to stop. Because it's like, if I can accomplish more, if I can do more, then I won't feel like this no more. Then maybe my head will stop hurting. Maybe my back pain will stop because I'll get it all done today. When in reality, what your body is telling you, it's telling you to do the complete opposite of what you've been doing, because what you've been doing is what got you to be exhausted, feeling burnt out, with the chronic fatigue, the autoimmune issues, the chronic pain. That's what's causing that. So in order for all of that to stop, what has to happen is you have to do the complete opposite, which is so hard for so many people. You have to give your body what it's asking for. You have to get your nervous system out of survival mode, because doing the most got you to where you are, and it served you well at a point in your life. But a lot of us are at a point in our life where, like, life is ghetto. When is the soft life gonna kick in? Because I'm tired. But you cannot soften your nervous system while you are still going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, while you're still pushing yourself to the bone, while you're still running on empty. It's almost like, well, I don't have my phone because I'm using it. It's almost like our phones, right? You ever have, like, your phone is acting up and you're like, oh, I gotta do the software update, or maybe I need to charge it. but I have apps running in the background, and I'm charging my phone, and I notice that it's taking forever to charge. That's literally what your nervous system is like when it's in survival mode. You're trying to give it juice, you're trying to give it coffee, you're trying to give it sleep, but all these tabs are open in your head. You're running around doing this. You're remembering, the mental checklist is long. It's like 5 chapters long. You have a planner. You have your phone. You have a paper to-do list. You're picking this one up. You're buying lunch for this one. You're dressing this one. You're bathing this one. And in all of this, you forgot to figure out, what do you need? Oh, the husband needs this. My sister needs that. My mom needs this. My boss needs this. And the kids need that, and the teacher, I have to get this for the teacher, and I have to get that for the other person. Then I gotta go food shopping. Then I gotta cook dinner. Then I gotta take a bath. Then I gotta do my hair. And he's like, okay, but what do you need? Because your body is telling you what you need. Your body's literally telling you to stop. Through the symptoms that you're feeling, it's telling you to stop, but we're not listening. And you cannot heal. You cannot heal your nervous system. You cannot get out of survival mode by pushing your body more. It's not gonna happen. And it's the reason why a lot of people wonder why they cannot have joy in their life, why softness feels so uncomfortable, why rest feels so uncomfortable. It's because your nervous system is still on high alert from all the pushing that you do, from, trying to charge it with all the apps open. Of course it's gonna drag. Of course it's gonna take forever to charge. It's almost like you're trying to drive a car with the gas, with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. That's literally what survival mode is. Or you're trying to drive your car, but it needed an oil change like 6 months ago. It works. Does it work at its fullest capacity? No. It's in survival mode. That's literally what's happening to your body. It works. You can get around, but you're dragging. And it doesn't work at its fullest capacity, as if your nervous system was no longer in survival mode. When your nervous system moves to the parasympathetic nervous system, which I like to equate as a parachute, like when a parachute goes out, it's like slow and soft. That's the parasympathetic nervous system. That's when you can embrace rest. That's when you can embrace joy. That's when sitting still doesn't give you anxiety. That's when you start to feel comfortable in your own silence. You feel comfortable sitting in silence. You feel comfortable being in the quiet. You feel comfortable when you hear jazz music. You feel comfortable lighting your incense. You feel comfortable journaling. You feel comfortable meditating. You can actually meditate. Because I was one of those people that could not meditate to save her life, because the thoughts that were racing through my head wouldn't allow it to happen. My mind was going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I could not quiet it enough for it to allow me to meditate. And so I would get frustrated. Why can I not meditate? It's because my body was so inflamed, because that's another thing, inflammation. It was so inflamed, and it was so on high alert from the decades of pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, that it had no room for anything soft. Which is why it always felt foreign to me to rest. It always felt foreign to me to laugh. I remember people used to be like, Julie, you're always so serious. It's like, in my mind, I'm like, bitch, because I'm thinking about the bills I gotta pay, and this I gotta do, and that I gotta do. Like, who has time for fun? Because again, you're the responsible one. You are the responsible one. There's no time to play when you are the responsible one, and when there's things to do. When you're the nurturer, you're the caretaker, you're the one everybody goes to. There's no time to pause, because you have things to do. At least that's what I would tell myself, right? And like I said, we try to push harder. We try to take the vitamins. We try to do the protein shakes. We try to exercise. At least for me, you try to get another planner. I was the planner queen. I'm just gonna change my planner. I need to be more disciplined so I could do more, so I could pack more into my schedule. Mind you, my calendar was packed. I was like, if I just do more, you know, I know I could do it because I'm a go-getter. I'm an overachiever. I'm a superwoman. I could do anything. You close the door, I climb through the window. Like relentless, to my own detriment. To my own detriment. So what is going on with the body? The body is trying to protect us. And I'm going to briefly talk about how this all can be put into remission and how you can start feeling better. Because your body is trying to protect you from a few things. Again, your nervous system is on high alert. Number two, that's number one. Number two, 99.9% you've been suppressing your emotions. You're dealing with highly stressful situations, whether it's a stressful jobs, you're dealing with people who stress you out, you have no boundaries, you're just opening up yourself to the world, and the stress is overwhelming, right? And what tends to happen is you have to start addressing the things that you've been avoiding. Because a lot of us who are dealing with, you know, the people pleasing and the caretaking and the eldest daughter and the overachiever, the perfectionist, like a lot of times those types of people, like me, those types of people do not do well expressing their emotions. They keep everything bottled up. And so that's also attacking your nervous system. And so you have to work on being able to express your emotions and express everything that you feel, whether that's rage, shame, fear, abandonment, self-worth, like all these different things. You have to start to release that from the body. Because when you don't release those emotions from the body, they start to manifest into different things, like the symptoms that you may be feeling, the chronic exhaustion, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, autoimmune issues, the dizziness, the brain fog, you know, the migraines, and so on and so forth. It's the body is trying to talk to you to tell you that it needs you to address these things. And it needs you to stop avoiding it and stop keeping yourself busy and instead focus on your body. So if anything that I have spoken about today feels like it's resonating with you and it feels like, you know what, Julie, this is exactly how I've been feeling, and I'm like, why is my life like this? Like this. I have to laugh from not crying, at least during the time. Now I'm on the other side and everything looks like rainbows, but when you're in it, it's not so funny. But this is exactly the work that I do inside my Return to Self program, when I work with women to try to get their bodies out of survival mode so that their health concerns and their health symptoms can go into remission, and they can start to enjoy the softness of life, the joy of life. They could learn to slow down and rest without guilt. And again, their health symptoms go into remission. And this is what we do inside of the Return to Self program, coaching program that I have. And the links you'll find here as well. It's for the woman who spent years, if not decades, being the strong one, the people pleaser, the caretaker, the superwoman, the one who figures everything out for everybody, the one everyone can count on, the one who pushes herself to the ground and who always is there for everyone. But along that journey, she forgets about who she is. She forgets herself, which is why I named the program Return to Self, because I want you to be the main character in your life again. I want you to have your life back. I want you to put yourself number one from now on. And that's not easy to do. It's easier said than done. There's a lot of healing that has to happen in order for that to take place. A lot of healing. So we begin healing the emotional patterns that got you to a dysregulated nervous system, which is huge. And this is the, this unfortunately is the work that a lot of people avoid. It's, they want to do the manifestation work and the light work and the rainbows and butterflies work, but it's hard to get there when you haven't dealt with your shadow. You have to deal with your shadow in order to get to the joy and the rainbows and the caterpillar, like the butterflies and the blue skies and the sun and all that stuff. You have to go deep underneath the ground. Go deep and excavate before you can go on the other side and really start to experience all the joy. So I want to also give you a caveat that this isn't a program for everyone. It's not meant to be the program for everybody. This program is deeply personal to me because it's my journey and what I went through and how I've been able to help so many women go through this healing journey on their own, where they're able to get out of survival mode and heal their trauma and put their health symptoms in remission. Any illnesses that they may be having that were brought on by chronic stress or a dysregulated nervous system has been put into remission. The diagnosis is still there. I still have neuropathy. It's still there, but do I feel the symptoms anymore? No, I don't. So if any of this conversation resonated with you, the links are here for you to apply for the Return to Self coaching program, set up a next step call, so I can talk with you about how I can support you on your journey. But I am so excited about this program, and I want to see all of us women get our lives back, return to the person that we were before our bodies started breaking down on us. I want that for all of us because there's so many women out there running around exhausted and burnt out and just hanging on by a thread when we don't need to be. We don't need to be. It's okay to put ourselves first. It's okay to be the main character in our lives. It's okay to put other people behind us, whether that's the kids, the husband, the mom, the father, whoever. It's okay to put yourself first. You don't have to feel guilty about that. Join me tomorrow. I'm going to be going live tomorrow as well. And we're going to be talking about the fastest way to signal safety to your nervous system. So if this conversation really sparked an interest in you, then tomorrow's conversation is going to take it up a notch to a deeper level. So it seems like coming on here in the evening seems to be better than the day, but we'll see how the day goes tomorrow. Have your notifications on so you know when I come back live. But again, all the links that you need to the Return to Self program will be here available for you to access. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And I just want to leave you with this. Your body's not fighting against you. Although it may feel that way. It may feel like it's fighting against you. It may feel like it's turning on you. It may feel like you're like, I thought we were cool. What is going on? It's trying to save you. It's really trying to save you. Now my question to you is, are you going to listen? I don't want you to be one of those women where you're forced to listen. You're forced to listen due to a chronic illness that goes way too far in advance that there's no turning back. That's not what I want for you. Your body's giving you the signals now. I want you to pay attention to it. It's communicating to you. And if you get anything from this discussion today, I want to leave you with that. That your body isn't fighting against you. It's fighting for you. It's fighting for you. It's the only body you're ever going to have. You don't get like a replacement, like with your car, when something goes wrong, you take it to the dealership, they give you like a courtesy vehicle. There's no courtesy body. Like, this is it. It's one and done. You get one. All right, so that's what I'm gonna leave you with today. And again, all the links are gonna be down below for you to access, and I will see you tomorrow on tomorrow's live. Take care. Bye.